Chapter 7, Mishnah 3. The Mishnah now discusses what to do with meat that is found in places where it could be assumed to be sacrificial meat. If meat was found in the temple courtyard and its status is unknown, if whole limbs were found, that is, the meat was cut into large cuts, into which an olah offering is divided before being placed on the altar, they are assumed to be the meat of olah offerings, since only olah offerings are cut into limbs. The meat of other offerings, which is meant to be eaten, is cut into slices. If slices of meat were found in the courtyard, they are assumed to be from chatas offerings. Although all offerings whose meat is eaten are cut into slices, it is unusual to eat the meat of Shekalim or similar offerings in the courtyard, since they may be eaten throughout Jerusalem. The meat is therefore assumed to be from a chatas. If meat was found outside the temple anywhere in Jerusalem, it is assumed to be that of Shekalim offerings, since those may be eaten throughout Jerusalem. Since the meat of olah, chatas, and asham offerings may not be removed from the courtyard, we may assume that meat found outside the courtyard is not from one of those offerings. In either case, whether the meat was found in the courtyard and assumed to be from an olah, chatas, or asham, or whether it was found somewhere in Jerusalem and assumed to be from a Shekalim, it may not actually be eaten or offered on the altar. Rather, it should be left overnight until its appearance changes and it thereby becomes disqualified. And it should then be taken out to the place of burning where disqualified offerings are burned. It cannot be eaten or burned on the altar because while it was lost, it was without supervision and may have become tameh. But it can also not be immediately burned as a disqualified offering because it may not have become tameh, and it is forbidden to destroy eligible offerings. It must therefore be left until it becomes definitely disqualified, at which point it could be burned. The Mishnah now discusses what to do with meat that is found where there is no reason to suspect that it was consecrated. Meat that was found in the provinces, i.e. anywhere in Eretz Yisrael outside of Jerusalem, if whole limbs were found, they are assumed to be nevela, which were cut into large pieces, limbs, to be fed to the dogs, and they may not be eaten. If slices were found, they are assumed to be from a properly slaughtered animal that was then sliced up for human consumption, and they are therefore permitted to be eaten. If the meat was found in the provinces during a festival, when meat is plentiful in honor of the festival, even whole limbs are permitted because due to the great volume of meat being consumed during the festival, it was customary to cook whole limbs instead of slicing all of the meat into smaller pieces.